Something huge is brewing in the Queen City today. We just got a massive insider alert about our front office cooking up a wild contingency plan for our offense. A highly debated familiar face might be returning to Charlotte if things go south this upcoming season. Before we dive into this crazy potential roster shakeup, you must smash that like button. If you are a true ride or die Carolina fanatic, subscribe to the channel immediately. Show your keep pounding spirit and do not miss this absolute bombshell update that will leave you totally speechless. Friends, this season holds immense importance for our quarterback Bryce Young, with a recent report opening a truly wild possibility for the Carolina Panthers' future under center. While Young, our first overall pick, has shown a steady upward trajectory since his challenging rookie year, proving much better than he was, Bleacher Report's Christopher Knox suggests we monitor a familiar name: Baker Mayfield. Mayfield's previous controversial tenure here ended with his requested release, but he then became a Pro Bowl quarterback, flourishing under current Panthers head coach Dave Canales in Tampa Bay, making it complex. Knox notes Mayfield wants a big contract and might hit free agency. He suggests that if Young regresses against a brutal schedule without Taylor Moton and Chris Brazzell, a reunion between Mayfield and Canales could make a ton of sense, particularly since none of the leadership from Mayfield's prior stint, save for owner David Tepper, remains. As Panthers fans, this news stirs a complicated mix of emotions. We are fully behind Bryce Young and his continued development, but the underlying anxiety about his potential regression and the thought of a what-if scenario, especially with a quarterback who thrived under Canales, is palpable. The truth is, while the report concludes a Mayfield reunion is highly unlikely given his potential $50 million contract demands and Young's ongoing growth, this speculation highlights a critical question. What specific level of performance must Bryce Young achieve this year to solidify his position as our undeniable franchise quarterback beyond his 2027 option year? Hold on a minute, because some incredibly surprising news has just dropped, and it involves a ghost from our recent past: the theoretical possibility of a Baker Mayfield reunion with the Carolina Panthers. Now, here's the thing. While Bryce Young has been on a steady upward trajectory, showing significant improvement from his rookie year, the discussion has arisen that his future isn't absolutely guaranteed beyond his 2027 option. This speculation is fueled by the thought that if Young were to regress against a challenging schedule, especially without key pieces like Taylor Moton and Chris Brazzell, the team might start looking at alternatives. The backstory here centers on Mayfield's own contract situation, as the Tampa Bay Buccaneers quarterback is reportedly seeking a big contract and is intent on hitting free agency if he doesn't get it, potentially looking for around $50 million a year. Bleacher Report's Christopher Knox even named our Panthers as one of 5 teams who should be monitoring this closely. While it seems unlikely given the Panthers already have their young quarterback, the historical context can't be ignored. Mayfield found Pro Bowl success under our new head coach Dave Canales in 2023, and notably, none of the contentious leadership from his previous controversial tenure here remains, save for owner David Tepper. From the perspective of our front office and coaching staff, it's clear they are all in on Young, hoping he continues to build on what he accomplished last season. Now let's move to the second part of today's update, which tackles what all this means for our Carolina Panthers. Beyond the immediate headlines, this conversation about Baker Mayfield signals a much deeper immediate pressure cooker on Bryce Young's shoulders. This is where it gets real, as we consider the genuine stakes for our franchise's future. For this season, the roster and depth chart remain unchanged, but the financial implications down the line are certainly being whispered about in the front office. The prospect of Young's 5th-year option, potentially combined with a lucrative contract for Mayfield in 2027 if things go south, presents a significant cap dilemma for David Tepper and our management team, which they're undoubtedly already weighing. Every snap Bryce Young takes this season, especially against that brutal schedule and without key players like Taylor Moton and Chris Brazzell, becomes an even more critical evaluation. His performance in those matchups, how he handles adversity, will directly impact the narrative about his long-term future with us. We'll be watching his progress through those tough games with even closer scrutiny now, knowing what's potentially at stake. This underlying chatter, while ultimately deemed highly unlikely by Christopher Knox of Bleacher Report to result in a reunion, could certainly be perceived by our division rivals like the Buccaneers, Saints, and Falcons as a sign of potential instability at quarterback, perhaps emboldening them. For our playoff chances, it simply underscores that Bryce Young's continued development isn't just about his personal growth, but about providing the foundational stability this team needs to compete for the division crown and beyond. A regression would undeniably set us back, but consistent improvement keeps us firmly in the hunt. The strongest argument for monitoring a potential Baker Mayfield reunion centers squarely on head coach Dave Canales. He orchestrated Mayfield's Pro Bowl season with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, turning him from a retread reclamation project into a top-tier performer. If Bryce Young were to face significant setbacks or struggle unexpectedly with the ridiculous slate of defenses ahead, having a quarterback already proven successful under Canales' system offers a significant low-risk contingency, especially given that almost all the leadership from Mayfield's prior Panthers tenure is gone. However, this scenario comes with substantial financial and developmental risks. Bryce Young has shown steady improvements, and as Panthers fans, we're invested in his progression. The financial commitment of potentially signing Mayfield to a presumably lucrative contract in 2027, on top of Young's fifth-year option, would tie up a significant amount of our cap space at one position. Think about it this way. If Mayfield performs exceptionally well, he'll command a $50 million contract that we likely can't afford. If his performance dips, he probably wouldn't be a justifiable upgrade over Young anyway. According to Bleacher Report's Christopher Knox, the Panthers should be monitoring Mayfield's situation, placing us among 5 QB-needy teams. Knox highlights our unique caveats, primarily our existing quarterback and the fifth-year option complicating a big investment. He explicitly suggests that if Young regresses, however, Carolina could heavily consider other options. Reuniting Mayfield and head coach Dave Canales could make a ton of sense. Here's where I land on this. While it's a fascinating what if and Canales' prior success with Mayfield is undeniable, the probability of a reunion feels exceedingly slim. The financial logistics and the faith we have in Bryce Young's continued growth simply make it a long shot. So, when we put together Bryce Young's ongoing development with the outside chatter about a potential Baker Mayfield reunion, the picture that emerges is one of pivotal decisions ahead for our Carolina Panthers. This situation means the franchise direction over the next few seasons hinges entirely on Bryce Young's performance, but also on how owner David Tepper and head coach Dave Canales decide to allocate significant resources at the quarterback position. As fans heading into this season, we should feel a blend of anticipation and cautious optimism. Young has shown a steady upward trajectory, proving he's much better than his rookie year. And while he isn't yet at the level of a number 1 overall pick, he's steadily closing that gap. We should be excited to see how he handles a challenging schedule, even without stalwarts like Taylor Moton and Chris Brazzell. The idea of Baker Mayfield, the former Panthers QB, returning is intriguing, especially with head coach Canales having success with him in Tampa Bay. Bleacher Report's Christopher Knox even suggests we should monitor his situation. And this is the part that gets me, the sheer unlikelihood of it all.